Hi everyone. This is the cluster API provider for vSphere office hours. This is a CNCF project, so please follow the CNCF guidelines during the meeting. What it means is that we be kind to one another. Please use the raise hand feature if you want to talk. Sagar has just shared the agenda doc in the chat. So in case you have any topics of discussion, please go ahead and add it to the doc. I guess it's going to be a pretty short meeting, unless you guys have more points to add to the agenda. So let's get started with the news and updates. I did have one thing that I wanted to share with all of you. As of yesterday, we have switched the default branch of CAPV from master to main. I just shared that announcement yesterday on Slack, and there are some more instructions on how to switch your local remote in case you want to take a look at that. Yeah, I think that's about it from my side. Anybody else has anything else to add to the agenda? No? Cool. So turns out I'm not sharing my screen. I'm so sorry. Let me just share my screen. Sagar, go ahead.
Like if there's nothing on the agenda, I'll take this time to kind of like touch base with you on the ignition support PR. Is there anything that is currently blocking? I did see like a couple of updates on that PR, but it still seems to be in like work in progress mode. So is there anything?
Yeah, we actually need to circle back a little to image builder, which lacked a number of things that we require. Let me paste you the link in the chat real quick. And so we focused on that first. We'll get back to the vSphere PR after that's concluded. So this is this one, and
yeah.
Far as I understand, Johannes, he's iterating on that. He's not quite there, but he knows what there's to do, and then we'll be back.
Yeah, I think like I did spend some time on the image builder project and trying to build the images with the Flatka support. Like I also had like multiple conversations with one of the contributors of the project. Yeah, seemed like there was not a particular or there was not a particular amount of knowledge as to what needs to be done there. So that's why I kind of thought that maybe I should like touch base with you and maybe like give you that information. But I see that you're already on top of that. So
yeah, the fun thing with image builder is that it is made for distributions that are like package focused and package centered. Now, Flatka releases as an image. Yeah. So we spend most of our time like disabling most of the checks because everything is there, and so you don't have any variety in the software set that you're looking at, and it's been fun. I mean, we've done it for AWS and for Azure and for QEMU, and this is just another another target that we will support.
I'll definitely keep an eye out on this particular PR to see. Thanks.
Thanks. That is super helpful. Thank you.
Cool. So then shall we move on to issues and PRs? So coming to the issues, since the last 14 days, we don't really have too many new issues which were raised, but let's get started with this one, which Max raised, which is about improving the handling of unreachable vCenter. I guess he spoke about this on the Slack channel as well, where it sort of, if we have a vCenter and the CAPV can't reach it, all the reconciliation is sort of slowing down. Sagar, do you want to add anything to this, or we can probably just take this the next?
I did spend some cycles thinking about like this particular thing. Seems like currently the way that the reconciliation of resources is or exists in CAPV, like there is no like back off implemented as such uh, for reaching out to any of the resources. I think like the only back off or yeah, the only backup implementation that we currently have is that if a particular task is like failing, then like we set a retry after that to a minute, and then we don't aggressively like uh, keep tracking the status of the same task, but we kind of back up for a minute. But that's specific, or that's very specific to like vSphere tasks. There is nothing as such in our controllers. So like this needs to just change. If we happen to like implement this, might require a lot more thought and some changes into the way that we reconcile objects. But yeah, that's just my initial thoughts. I haven't gotten too much into the details or like too much into how we could implement this. Yeah, that's like two cents here.
Okay. Going on to the next one. So this is basically an issue about release note generation. And I think there is a very good conversation happening between Ryan and Geetika on the Slack channel. And I guess it's progressing forward quite well. Basically, what they're trying to do is we want to get at parity with all the other providers when it comes to release notes. And that is what Ryan is working on right now. Let's see. This another feature to add API diff target to the makefile. Once again, this is more about making sure that we have some sort of a pre-submit job, which in case we have any API changes, we immediately it's brought to the notice, I guess, of the person committing the code. Once again, this is part of that ongoing activity where we make sure that we are having robust testing and also basically try to adopt the goodness from other providers and making sure that we are also up to date. Let's see. Enable Cyclop similar dev experience. Yeah, thank you, Sagar. Enable Cyclop in CAPV linters. I don't think I've seen this. Yeah, Sagar.
Yeah, I think this is again something that is coming from CAPI. CAPI is planning to introduce support for this particular linter in their code base. So I think I guess all of the providers have tried to follow the suit and keep the linters set up also same across all the providers, unless there's a specific need to kind of diverge away from CAPI. Again, like the broader thought behind this is to keep the developer experience same across all the providers and CAPI. So yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Sagar. Then we have this one more, which is basically about adding README about flavors. I guess this started showing up once we introduced a new flavor for cluster class. And I think this issue is raised with good reason, because we definitely don't have much documentation when it comes to what each of those flavors mean. We just have the code base which says, okay, this is with kubeweb, this is with load balancer, and so on. So this is a really nice, I think it's going to be a helpful addition. The next one is book for cluster API provider vSphere. Once again, I guess this was raised with the intent to keep a similar dev experience and help folks who are getting onboarded with CAPV. But I think Sagar had a comment here. I guess, Sagar, if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, I'm pretty wary about like introducing like a new book, something that we'll have to put in cycles to maintain across. Like our documentation, although like the documentation in the repo, although however rudimentary it uh, uh, is still like a good place, or I don't know. I think it's adequate enough. And if there are any additions that are required, we should just make them in the repo. Like maintaining a book again, like involves some form of overhead. And I don't, or at least in my personal opinion, the the there are no specific pros to like introducing a book. But like if there are other thoughts that people have, I'm happy to like talk about and listen to them and see like if it makes sense for us to go ahead with this. For now, yeah, we can keep this on hold for a bit.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I have seen a lot of issues in CAPV, especially where they have to like continuously make sure that they're up to date with all the pages. So that's definitely an overhead. So sort of agree with you there, Sagar. We're almost there. We have this one more, which is about uh, basically if they have like a single quote, it looks like the YAML marshalling is not it's throwing an error, and that's what the author of this issue has said. Sagar?
Yeah, seems like if you enter like a single quote in the password, it does not get escaped correctly. That is the issue. I think like if we go down, like I have posted some instructions around how to like work with this issue. I think I'm not sure like if uh, this person is actually like working on this issue, but I did give some pointers around like how to reproduce this issue locally, and it does not have to be against like a fully functioning vCenter. We could test it against vSim as well. So let's see. Yeah, let's see if I'm tracking this discussion. So let's see if there are any updates from from the contributors.
Oh, this would be super helpful, like if he's able to get it up and running with vSim, because we definitely don't have any such instructions right now. That would be nice.
Yep.
Last one. So Sagar, you raised this, so if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, this was like me just mucking around with upgrades and like the upgrading the different objects across like different API versions that we have. So seems like so I think just to give a bit of a historical context, like CAPV basically previously in CAPV, like failure reason and failure message were two things that were supported when the support for conditions was not or when support for conditions on objects was not yet introduced. So like failure reason and message were the two things that were used to kind of showcase or bubble up like terminal errors on the objects. So that was the use of like failure reason and message. Now the idea is that like one with the introduction of conditions similar to the conditions on the Kubernetes objects, like the plan was to like phase away from like failure reason and message, just because there are or if there is any logic that is implemented on the conditions, then the failure message and the reason do not actually update the conditions to basically show that the object has failed. So if you kind of look at the if you look at the status, the object condition, the ready condition of the object is set to true, but like there the object in this case is like kind of unusable just because the failure message and reason say that the VM could not be found. So this condition does not get bubbled up to the actual CAPI machine object, and like the ready condition is set true across the hierarchy of objects, which kind of does not correctly state the the actual state of the object. So like I was thinking that this might be something that we can improve on, and like wherever possible introduce conditions and stop this reliance on failure message and reason. So like I think like this is like one of the issues with the vSphere VM object. I'm assuming that there are other objects which also have like similar setup or similar similar setup with the failure message and failure reason. So this could also be used as an issue to like collate all of the instances around this, and then we could come up with a coherent strategy to like move away from failure messages and rely more on conditions.
Thank you, Sagar. I guess that's about it when it comes to issues. When it comes to open PRs, I think instead of me opening them, maybe let's just go through them, and whichever look very involved, we could start looking at those. The first one, which is refactoring the find VM method, it's basically just that. So Pratik here, he's working on refactoring that method and making sure that it's not very monolithic. So right now we're waiting on him to add some more tests, and I think that was the last conversation that was here, right? Yeah. So we're just waiting for Pratik to add some tests, and then I guess we could go ahead and review the PR. Once again, the add GitHub release notes, we spoke about this in the open issue, so this PR takes care of that. This PR is also about refactoring. Not sure at what stage this has reached, but this is where it was at. Okay, so it looks like some tests are failing, but other than that, it's ready to be reviewed. So yeah, he tagged us. I guess we sort of slipped, but we'll take a look at that. And the last one is add unit test for identity package. Kitika is working on this one, and I think this is ready to be. I'm not sure.
I think there are some.
Yeah.
Sorry, there are some like comments that need to be addressed. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. And yeah, I think that's about it in the open PRs. We didn't really have too many open PRs to talk about today. Let's see, is there anything else? Does anybody have anything else to add? Any other points? No. Going once, twice. Okay, I said in the beginning it's going to be a very short meeting, but I guess not. We had a lot of nice issues we had to talk about, but have a good rest of the day, everybody. See you all in 2 weeks. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.